Welcome to Taiwan Brief, a deep dive into issues related to Taiwan. I'm Donovan Smith in Taichung, Taiwan. So the very first primary of the 2022 electoral season was just completed recently. Now, using opinion polling, the KMT chose sitting lawmaker Xu Shuhua as their candidate for Nantou County Commissioner, whose incumbent will be term limited out. Now, unless you're the froze, you're probably thinking, who cares about Nantou and who the heck is she? Xu Shuhua was frequently the MC at rallies for KMT Kaohsiung mayoral and later presidential nominee Han Kuo-yu. She's the one who frequently dressed up as Wonder Woman. Now, I'm sure some of you are now going, oh, yeah, her. A few of you might remember that she was one of the few KMT lawmakers who broke ranks and voted for marriage equality. Nantou, while they voted for President Tsai in both of the last elections, tends to vote KMT for major local politicians. So Xu has a very good chance of winning next year. Now, what's interesting about the upcoming 2022 race is that there seems to be a consolidating of power by women in the KMT in central Taiwan. Lu Xiuyan is the mayor of Taichung, and Wang Huimei is the Changhua County Commissioner. In the primary, Xu faced off against two other women, the only other legislator from the county and the Nantou city mayor, a post Xu used to propel her to her legislative seat and will likely be a favorite to replace her in the by-election. Straddling the center of Taiwan and the south is Yunlin, also currently led by a KMT woman. So, heading into the 2022 elections, incumbents in Taichung, Changhua and Yunlin, and the new KMT candidate in Nantou will all be women. Why almost certainly the KMT will be represented through this entire region by women in the next election, I can't say with certainty. This appears to be mostly an organic development, though the KMT has some internal methods of promoting women within the party. That doesn't appear to have been a major factor here, though. In fact, I've seen no signs that this is any deliberate strategy by the KMT, the women involved, or any social movement. Another possible factor is that generally women vote for the KMT about 5 to 10 points higher than men, who lean more toward the DPP. That could mean more women are drawn to KMT politics and may get a bit more support from other women in the primaries and in the elections. But that would, at most, account for an imbalance, perhaps as much as 2/3, not 100%. I have another, but very speculative theory to add to the pot. This doesn't apply to Lu in Taichung. She comes from Geelong and a journalism background. Both Xu and Wang and Nantou and Changhua come from patronage faction backgrounds. And probably the Yunlin commissioner does as well, but I'm not as versed in Yunlin. Their entirely male predecessors in these factions were often caught up in scandals and corruption. I know some, but perhaps many of their male successors decided to forego politics and or may have too many skeletons of their own in the closet, plus association in the people's minds with their fathers and uncles, to consider going into politics. So who in these traditional factional families is left to go into politics? The daughters. Surely they couldn't be corrupt and get into scandals, could they? They're women. That couldn't happen. Well, at least that is more likely to be the public perception, regardless of the reality, which is, of course, they can. So, in a nutshell, my best theory is that this has simply evolved from a series of different factors. It will be interesting to see how this plays out going forward and to see if it continues. Now, the DPP, meanwhile, is looking more likely to go with men in central Taiwan. In the Taichung race, 2 of the 3 most widely tipped potential candidates are men, and the 2 big heavyweights already making moves in Changhua are also men. Now, I haven't seen any speculation yet, however, on either Nantou or Yunlin on the DPP side. So we'll see where they go. All right, this has been a short show today, so be sure to like us on Facebook and Twitter. And if you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell that gives you notifications so you can see all the latest shows. And of course, it means a lot to us and really does help keep Taiwan Report going if you could join us as a patron on patreon.com/Taiwan Report.
This has been brought to you by the Taiwan Report. For more content like this, become our patron at report.tw.
还有就是那个台湾狗啦，最喜欢我的台湾狗了。